Hello, and welcome back to another episode. So today we have W Magazine Volume 6. And Volume 6 I received just a few days ago, so it would be roughly equivalent to the October issue. Okay, so let's get started. On the cover is Rosalia. Okay, we've seen these images before in a different magazine. But what's nice about this is it was given quite a nice print quality. And one thing I discovered here about W, and I'm slowly discovering it about the other magazines too, is the advertisers can choose print quality. It's not a one-size-fits-all print quality. So kind of, if I can, use an analogy here, say if you're interested in like a new Corvette, right? Corvettes come in like the Stingray, then you can go up to the Grand Sport, then up to the Z06, and then up to the top of the line ZR1. So it's kind of similar in these magazines. So an advertiser wants to advertise, and it seems like they're given some options as far as print quality, and of course, with the better print quality, it becomes more expensive for the advertiser. So it seems like in a lot of the magazines, they opt for the baseline print quality to stretch their pennies. Okay, but here in this left image, this is really superior for W, because W has in all seriousness, it has the worst print quality in the business. So here it's obvious Celine specified when they contacted W Magazine, to place this advertisement, of course, they specified a higher print quality. So this image, I'm getting this glare, but this image on the left, we've seen this before, the bag hanging from the chandelier. It really takes on a three-dimensional look because the print quality is so good, you can pick up the third dimension in the photo. You can pick up space. So it's really, really wonderfully printed. And that shocked me about W Magazine because I didn't think it was capable of such print quality. Okay, moving on, we've seen this one before too. But this is a closer crop, which I found kind of nice. It's the same image, but it's been altered. It's been cropped, which I found quite interesting as well. Okay, moving along. Gucci, and we know I've covered this a million times. Gucci is slowly digging itself out of that hole. Again, this is nothing to write home about by any means. This is, again, it's Gucci still remains in the bottom tier, but any improvement at all it's improvement. So as horrible as this photo is, believe it or not, it's an improvement. So try to get your mind around that one. Okay, back to Moschino. We've seen this. This was before. This was a 2-pager, not in W, but in a different magazine. So she had her legs fully extended on this fainting couch, whatever it is, sofa, right? And it's really wonderfully printed. And this is certainly taken with a medium format. At least it looks like it. It was taken with a medium format. Possibly it could be a D850 or something like that, or A7R. But at any rate, it's definitely a very high megapixel camera. Whether it's full frame or medium format, it's extremely high resolution. Okay, this is a gay photographer named Peter Berlin, like the city in Germany, right? But his look, we've covered this before. Do you remember in W they had the woman who was in a dog collar, spiked dog collar and stuff? So this is really old, again, I know this guy is probably young, right? But this is so played out. We've covered this already. This was popular in the late 70s and very early 80s with bands like, Rob Halford, lead singer of Judas Priest. And you had it in the San Francisco. This was big in the gay community, all this biker look. Okay, but this is so old and so played out. Again, this is why I've always said celebrities need advisors. Because, we've seen what happened to like Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson, right? They desperately needed advisors to snap them back to reality, just like Prince. And then you have some, they were not fatal. But you've had some people like Lindsay Lohan and Paris Hilton, Paris Jackson, and there are others who just melted down. They went through some meltdowns, and they desperately needed close advisors. And it's the same with this photographer. Now I know he's young, but this guy needs an advisor to snap him into reality and give him a bucket of cold water in the face. That this look went out in about 83, 84. This died, okay? And that's why, again, celebrities need advisors as a sounding board, a voice of reason. Okay, well, these images are absolutely dreadful, and you'll see here. Okay, now these aren't so bad in the book. So now here he's covering his face. Okay, here he's not. Obscuring his face, obscuring his face. Okay, let's go on. Okay, his back is to the camera. So at this point you're thinking, look, ass clown, why did you even do the photo shoot? Okay, if you're gonna pull this, 2 images, look right here. Okay, boom. If I'm the photographer and he does this to me, okay, it's okay, I can kind of handle this. And then he does this, I'm gonna say, look, I got better shit to do with my time, okay? Really, I know I'm paid for this gig, but you're insulting the living hell out of me, and I have better things to do. So either wise the hell up, or we're just going to terminate this shoot. This is just ridiculous. Okay, so now, he's out of frame, right? And this is the photographer. You can see the camera. So the photographer's taking a picture of the smartphone. It's just like, oh God, man. I guess as a photographer, you've got to massage these egos and you got to play along. But that photographer was just completely made a fool of by that person. Okay, so this is the editorial now for Rosalia, okay? And these are pretty dreadful images. This is, again, we said some of this is partly due to the print quality. It's a substandard print quality, but gosh, these images are just flat. There's no life to these images. These images are not popping. They're not coming to life. They're just kind of just dead. I don't know how else to explain it other than they're just dead images. Okay, the one on the left I have a problem with because of the stylist. Now we have the stylist, Katie Grand. Now look how loose this garment is on her. It's not fitting her. Right here when it comes under the breast, the material should have immediately come to her like rib cage and then hugged her body on the way down. But you can tell look how loose fitting this is. It's even too loose here in the shoulder. The garment is too big for her, right? It wasn't tailored for her. And again, they didn't use any old-fashioned workarounds like clothespins or some type of, they could have done something to try to cinch this material closer to her body to make it more fitting. But look, that's just hanging on her like a wet rag. This is horrible. Look at her hair here. No makeup. The hair has not been done. Just dreadful. It's dreadful styling. The photography is not so good. This could have been a redeemable image. But okay, it's backlit, and the photographer is not using enough foreground light. Okay, so the backlight is overpowering the scene, right? And the strobe foreground should have been juiced up a little bit more to balance the photo, and it hasn't been. So, and we're seeing this fan again. So I don't know what this hang up is they have on this fan. Okay, but we see the fan here. We see a fan. There's a fan here. Okay, this could have been actually a good photo, but it's right. They could have when you see this haze is correctable also. We talked about in the exposure layer in Photoshop. If you tweak gamma correction and offset, you can get this haze. You see this haze? This haze, you get this haze a lot when Nikon, if you shoot wide open. I've seen this many times before, and the G lenses, the AFS-G lenses. If you take a Nikon 35mm f1.8 G and the 50mm f1.8 G, and you shoot them wide open at 1.8, you can get this cast, this whitish cast over your images. And that's just, it's part and parcel of shooting wide open with those two Nikon lenses. But my point is if you go into open and exposure layer in Photoshop, and I forget which one at the moment, whether it's gamma correction or offset, you just, a little bump on the slider completely takes this white cast right out of the image. Completely removes it, and it makes it a nice, much richer, much fuller photo. But again, so what went wrong in the shoot wasn't even corrected in post. So I mean, there's just, W Magazine definitely has some issues with photography. Okay, I don't think they're very skilled photographers there on staff. This image is quite dreadful. This image is just so flat. Again, I swear to you, it looks like a kit lens. The same here. If you know, I'm going to make another Nikon reference here. If you're new to photography and you buy a kit camera, like say you buy an APS-C, back in the day you bought a D3100, D3200, right? It came with that 18 through 55, f3.5 through 5.6. So if you were on the low end, your aperture was f3.5 at the 18mm side. If you zoomed out to 55, your aperture became f5.6. Okay, and my point is, with that lens, it produced this type of image. It produced a very flat, lifeless image. That's why one of the first things we did as photographers, we ditched that lens and we went out and bought a prime, right? We bought a better prime or a better zoom, generally to save money. We got either the 50 or the 35 prime f1.8, and it eliminated this flatness. So when you look at this image, you would swear this was taken with that Nikon 18 through 55, f3.5 through 5.6. It's all over this image, and you have to ask yourself: is really that's what they're using in a national magazine? They're using a kit lens, right? You just gotta shake your head and say, WTF, right? Same here. This absolutely looks like it was taken now on the wide end, right? I should say on the 55 is the tele end, right? Telephoto. But the 18 is the wide end. Now here it looks definitely like they're more toward the wide end, right? The 18 end. But again, even if it's APS-C times 1.5, you're looking at what, like a 27mm equivalent, right? This would, if it's with an APS-C camera, this is a 27mm equivalent focal length. And it's just, again, it's got the hallmark of that kit lens all over it. This is garbage. This is absolute garbage. Same here. This image isn't even in focus. The photographer misfocused on this image. I mean, they've got some straight rookies at this magazine. Straight rookies. Horrible. It's in focus. This image is in focus. But it's just flat. This image is not alive at all. There's nothing alive about this image. Okay, Isabella Rossellini, daughter of Ingrid Bergman. I can remember, my goodness, I can remember when she was on Friends some 25 years ago. And I'm just going to be as kind as I can, but time has not been kind to her at all. Isabella Rossellini was gorgeous in her day. But now it's just, ooh. I actually feel quite bad for her, because she's aged more than 25 years. In these 25 intervening years, it honestly looks like she's aged 40 years in 25 years. So it's just, I don't know. It's just, when I first saw it, because I haven't seen her in years and years, and when I opened this magazine and saw her, I actually just like, what in the world? It's just time has not been good to her at all. Okay, Ariana Grande. Okay, it's a nice image. Again, we talk about print quality. So Givenchy specified to W they wanted a superior print quality. Again, so they said, yeah, no problem, but you're going to pay for it. And they said, hey, yeah, of course we will. And so at least this was printed fairly well. Okay. And that's about it. It's pretty fast. There were some other editorials in here I didn't even bother to show you because the photography is so, I mean, it is straight garbage. So W, I can't hang this on Sara Moonves because, again, we talked about this before. She was supposed to have been elevated to editor-in-chief when Condé Nast fired Stanley Tucci just before they sold to Surface Media. They gave him the boot, and it was reported that Sara Moonves was going to step up, and they backpedaled on that. And I was really kind of hoping, because I see good things from Sara Moonves. I like her styling, and I think from what little I see of her, I think she's pretty much got it together. But this magazine sucks. I'm just not even gonna try to sugarcoat this. This magazine is garbage. I made a mistake by subscribing to this. It's a 1-year subscription. I'm definitely not going to renew this. This is just shit. This is really a shit magazine. And I can't wait for this year to be over because I am ditching this. Like, you know, that was it Dish TV? I'm ditching the dish. Yeah, I'm ditching W. Okay, thank you. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you did not, by all means, give me a thumbs down. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.